Next, we will move ahead and take a look at how to navigate the Power BI desktop. And then we will take a look at how to connect to various data sources. So this is my Power BI desktop. I installed it. I hope all of you installed it successfully. If you have not yet installed, if you are posing issues, don't worry. You disturb me tomorrow between 12:30 to 3. I'll help you out. Okay, so here the navigation part is pretty simple. Once you open your or once you launch your Power BI desktop in the Windows system, it will open with the welcome screen. You just click cross, it will get closed, and then you should be able to load the data into Power BI desktop. Or if you want to create a report or charts, or if you want to use any charts, visuals, you can do everything here. So okay, this is the Power BI desktop. Okay, now let us see the components of this Power BI desktop. Right, it's something like human face. So on the upper part of our face we have brain, and right just beneath this upper part of our brain we have eyes, right? Something like that. You should be knowing the anatomy, like how we know the anatomy of human body, right? Same way you should be knowing the different components of the Power BI desktop. Look here, on the right side you will find 3 icons. So the first icon, this is the one, is what you see here, right? I just highlight here. This is called your canvas, Power BI desktop or report canvas. We call it a report canvas or Power View. This is where we create all the visuals or reports. For example, when I click on, let's say if I want to have a stacked column chart, all you need to just click on this chart, whichever chart you need it. In Power BI, we call charts as visuals, remember it. So this is called your stacked column chart, stacked bar chart. This is called clustered bar chart. You can create, so you need to drag and drop the columns. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. You need to drag some columns to the x-axis, whichever column you want it, right? You can drag it, and whichever column you want it in the y-axis, you need to drag and drop it to create a chart. So in simple term, this one, right, or the first one, the moment when you open the Power BI desktop, what you see is the report canvas. This is called your report canvas. I'll just type it one more time. Report canvas. It is also called as Power View. Got it? Okay. So what is the next thing? The next icon is data view. This is called your data view. Data view. And the last one is, this is the one is called your Power Pivot. Power Pivot. This icon is called a data view. This is called your Power Pivot, and this is called your report canvas. So you don't have to click on this. By default, when you launch a Power BI desktop, what you will see is the report canvas, and this is your data view. This is what your Power Pivot. Okay, I will explain what these Power Pivot is all about. What is data view? What is report canvas? Little later. And also we have something else called transform data icon here. When you click on this, you will find something called transform data. If you open this, this is called your Power Query editor. To create a report or dashboard, what do you need it to create a report or dashboard? So whether it's a Power BI desktop tool or Tableau, so what is the basic thing you need it in order to create a report or dashboard? Can you all please type it in the chat window? To create a report or dashboard, what is the basic thing that you need it? Data. You need to have the data. If you don't have the data, how will you create a report? Okay, customer has given me the data in Excel file. I need to load that Excel data into Power BI desktop. Okay, yes, right. I need to load that Excel data into my Power BI desktop. Okay, data is available. I was able to load the Excel data into my Power BI desktop successfully. Everything is fine, but if the given data is clean or not. Second consideration what we need to make is whether the given data is up to the mark or not. Quality. If the data has a lot of duplicate values in it, if it has a lot of missing values in it, if it has a lot of outliers in it, it's something like garbage in, garbage out. If your data is something like garbage, and if you simply use that data which is not clean, and if you start create the reports using the charts or some other visuals, it will show inaccurate value. It will be something like cluttered. First thing is you need to have the data to create a report or dashboard. The second thing is you need to clean the data, right? Once you load the data into Power BI desktop, second step is you need to clean the data. That is where the Power Query editor comes into picture. You just remember this. Power Query editor is like your kitchen. Let's say you bought your chicken in the market. Sorry, not chicken or fish. So before you eat the fish, you need to clean it, right? So you need to clean it in your kitchen, and then you mix all the recipes that are required, and then what you do is you fry the fish. First, you need to clean the fish, right? Similarly, when it comes to the data, make sure that even though you have the data, sufficient amount of data, but make sure the data is clean. If the data is not clean, you need to go and do the cleaning here using Power Query editor. So Power Query editor is very much helpful in terms of cleaning the data. Just by pointing and clicking the menus, you can do the data transformation. It is that much simple. Like in Excel, how you do? You want to replace some values in a specific column. Press Ctrl F and then you type the column replace values, right? Replace this value by this value. Click on it, right? It will replace the entire value in your column. Somewhat similar to that, you can do it with Power Query editor. Power Query editor is meant for ETL process or transformation, data transformation, or they call it as an ETL. See, one of my student, he is with BE civil engineering background. He attended an interview when the employer asked ETL, what did you do in ETL? He got stuck up, and he asked me, sir, is there any way if you can train me on SSIS? See, you attend 100 interviews. Each interview they'll ask different tool. Is it possible to learn each and every tool in 1 month, 2 months? There are students. Yesterday I got a call from few students. They shared the screenshot. Ladies, 5 ladies they cleared the interview. Especially all Andhra ladies. Okay, AP, Andhra Pradesh, and they shared the screenshot saying that, sir, I received my ID card, everything. They knew only Power BI. They knew only SQL queries. That's it. It's not a rocket science. Okay, what is ETL? ETL transform for extracting the data. Extract, transform, and load the data. Using Power Query editor, we can extract the data, transform in the sense, transform the data in the required format. Let's say you have some duplicate values or in a column, which is not the preferred one. You transform the column by removing the duplicate records. Okay, this is one example for transform. Okay, and then you load the data. After removing the duplicate records, if you load the data into Power BI desktop, and if you use that data which doesn't have duplicate record, and if you plot the chart, it will be the data will be accurate. If you have the, let's assume that a customer's record is appearing more than one time, or the same invoice values appearing more than one time. So in that case, it will do the double counting in the case of duplicate record. So removing the duplicate record is not only part of as part of the transform we do. Apart from this, we do a lot of other data transformation that we'll see it later. At this moment, remember these 4 components. So, or 3 icons, you remember it. The first component, I would say, that is your report canvas. Second component is Power Pivot. Third component is Power Query editor. And what is the data view? Data view, just view the data. Once you load the data into Power BI desktop, If you wanted to see the content of the file inside the Power BI desktop, you need to click on this icon and see what value is loaded. To see the data, click on here. So hope you understood three components. You need to remember three. Forget about data view. Remember Power View. This is where we create the charts. Power Pivot is something like data modeling. We do data modeling using this one. What is data modeling? It's something like blueprint. Before you construct a house, you need to have a blueprint. That's what we do it as part of Power Pivot. Right. So and then what we do is we do the data cleaning. See, the step is first we do the data cleaning. Load the data, clean the data using Power Creator, and then data modeling, and then you. So this is step 1, okay, and this is step 2. Step 2. This is how we this is the typical workflow is first load the data and clean the data, and then do the data modeling blueprint. Once the blueprint is ready, next one is create the report. So this is just to view the data. That's all, this icon. Okay. Okay, I just I'm not going to close this one. I just keep this aside. Okay, and here now we will start load the data. Okay, connecting to various data sources. We'll take a look at it. So how do we use the Power BI desktop to connect to various source system files? In the real-time scenario, we are not getting the files data only in the Excel file. Sometimes we'll get the data in the form of CSV files. What are CSV files? CSV stands for comma separated values. Sorry. The CSV stands for comma separated files. What is comma separated files? It is also called as a flat file. Some people they call it a flat file. Once they assign you to a project, you will end up speaking to your US peer, right? In US, you have a developer, your customer side, right? You'll have to interact with your customer side. They will use this term. Have you loaded the flat files? Don't get confused, which is nothing but comma separated files. For example, I have a file name of sales.csv. CSV stands for what? Tulasi, what is CSV? Comma separated files. What do you mean by comma separated value? Yeah, comma separated values. CSV stands for comma separated values. We call it the comma CSV files. Okay, sales.csv is a comma separate value file. So when you open this file, you will find something like invoice number, comma, and you have invoice date, comma, customer key, and product key, comma. So each column will be separated by comma, and the values belongs to each column also separated by comma. For example, invoice number is I00X11, comma, invoice date is 01 March 2022, comma, customer key is C001, and the product key is P001, something like that. The comma separate. So when you open this file, each and every column and the corresponding values get separated from other columns. See, if you don't have comma, what will happen? So if you have 01 here, whether you will think up to this one invoice number or the date starts from here something, you will get confused, right? So in order to understand where the invoice date starts, where the customer key starts, you need to have the comma here. This is called a comma separated values. Now we will start with explore how to load a comma separated value file into Power BI desktop. Go to Power BI desktop. Okay, and I guess I shared my GitHub link wherein you will find all the data files, and I'll explain how to download this little later. Okay, so if you wanted to load any file in the Power BI desktop, you need to click on this get data icon. If you see the get data icon here, right, it is similar to it is identical to your Excel icon. When you open an Excel file, even in the Excel file you will find the same icon and same text. In Power BI desktop, what they did, they try to replicate the icons and text whatever is there in Excel, right? Somehow they replicated here. So this one looks like, so that even an Excel user, when you open this Power BI desktop, you should be able to learn it quickly. So I'm going to click on the get data icon, and what I do is I'm going to open look here, you have lot of options. Which file, which type of file that you wanted to open it. I wanted to open the comma separated value file. Hence, if you look at the, if you slowly, if you see here, you will find text CSV file. You want to use TXT file or CSV file. I'm going to select this option. This is the connector I'm going to select it. So for example, I'm going to use sales w40.csv file is there. I just click on open. So now it is establishing a connection to my .csv file. This .csv file is there in my D drive. I just do it one more time, get data, and I'm going to open. So supposing you want to open an Excel file, you click on this. Suppose you want to connect to SQL Server, click on this. In my case, I start with loading a CSV file for demonstration purpose. I just click on it. Let us start with a simple example. In the D drive, I have a folder called that1. If I scroll down here, sales W04 CSV file is there. Click on this. Click on open. It is that much simple. Like in Excel, how you open file, the same thing you do it here. It open, you will find something like the file origin. You don't do anything here. Delimiter is comma, data type deduction based on first 200 rows. And if you want to scroll, because I have so many columns are there. If you want to see all the columns, you need to use this scroll bar. Okay, if you scroll it towards the right side, you will see all the columns. Try to look at each and every column. This is a written order priority, and also if possible take a look at the data, okay, here and there, little bit. Don't see all the data. In the real time scenario, you will have millions and millions of records. You cannot say each and every record, but just take a cursory look at it. So in the sales column, okay, I can see all the values, but unfortunately in the sales column, the sales value is prefixed by $. Okay, since the numeric values prefixed by $, this column will get converted as a text data type. Okay, what is so big deal? If this sales column get converted text data type, what is going to happen? You cannot perform any arithmetic operation. Okay, so now you need to transform this values. You need to remove the $, and you need to remove comma, and then you need to convert this column as a numeric data type. This is also called as a transformation. I explained you ETL. E stands for extract, T stands for transform, L stands for load. So before you load the data, look here. Before I have three icons here: load, transform data, and cancel. So before loading the data, this is a raw data. It has some issue in it, right? $, is there. Okay, I need to transform this. How do I remove the $, remove the comma, and then you need to convert this a numeric data type explicitly. Only when you convert the numeric or decimal data type, you can perform any arithmetic operation. Got it? So fine. So next what I do is, I just scroll towards the left side. I am going to see other columns. But the problem here is, the column name starts from here: row.id, order id, order date, ship mode, customer id. But this is the column name. The column names were supposed to be in this name, right? This one supposed to be row id, this one supposed to be order id, this column supposed to be order date. But instead of having the column name here, it is located here. So we need to move this row, right, as part of here. You need to move this one to this place. You need to move this entire row to this one. So that order row ID will get filled here, order ID will get filled here, order date get filled here. So this is another transform. This is also called as a transformation. You understood? It is not just, if you have data set, that is not sufficient. You need to format the data in the required format, right? You need to change the data. You need to transform the data into the required format, right? So one thing is you need to move this row to this place, right? So you need to convert the rows as columns, okay? This row as first row as a columns, okay? The second row, right? Second row as a columns. That transformation. Next transformation is the sales column. I could see some kind of dollar value is there, right? Prefixed by this. Hence, what Power BI does is, if you have any numeric values in a column, and unfortunately, if any one of the values in this numeric column prefixed with dollar or any special character, the entire column will get converted as a text data type. Please remember this. Okay. So enough talking. Okay. I just want to go ahead and click on the transform data. So it will take me to the Power Query editor. That's what I said, related with that, with kitchen. In the kitchen only you do cleaning, right? So I'm not going there. Simply I just click on load. Even though there are some data related issues are there, simply load it. And then you just maximize this. So load. It is loading the data from my CSV file into Power BI desktop. It will take for a while. You need to have a lot of patience when it comes to Power BI desktop. If you have a 16 GB RAM, it will be a bit faster. If you have 4 GB RAM, obviously you need to wait. But make sure that you are not opening any file. When you work with Power BI desktop, don't open any other file. Like opening PowerPoint, opening my Word document. Don't open anything. Open only Power BI desktop and load the data. It will be a bit faster. Look here, in this data file as 25 CSV file as 25,006 records are there. The 25 all the records got, all the rows or records got loaded into my Power BI desktop. I will show you. I just move this aside, the Power Query editor. You need to have a lot of patience. Don't click on it more than once. It will literally slow down the performance. I just minimize this. Look here. After loading the file sales_w04.csv file successfully, right, on the right side you will find, right below this fields pane, you will find the sales w04 file, but you will find the table icon. This is called a table icon. Whether it's a CSV file or Excel file or JSON file or any type of file, once you load it into Power BI desktop, it will consider them as a table. Remember this. That's why you can see the table icon along with it. It is no longer a CSV file. It is a table when it comes to Power BI desktop. Okay. Okay. Now the next question is, okay sir, I am able to see the table name here. Right beneath this fields, I can see the sales W04 table here, but how can I see the column names that are part of this file or table? Just click on this icon. I'll just show you once again. When you click on this, this greater than sign here, it will get expanded. So unfortunately, it is not showing the column name correctly. Okay. Okay. Next step is, how can I see the data that are part of each and every column? That is where this icon is very much. This is called your data view. So what you do is, you just click on this icon. Look here. Here also you find sales W04, and you need to wait. You need to have a lot of patience. If you don't see any data, see the moment as soon as you click on this data view, you will not find any data. That means it is trying to load it here. You need to have patience. Don't think this table is empty. Okay, wait for some time. Look here, it took some time, right, to load. So column 1 has this value and column 2, but the column names were not the proper one. If somebody says what is 20228, they mentioned about column 1, what the hell is this, right? You will get confused. So that is where the Power Query editor is very much helpful. Go to the kitchen, click on the transform data, click on this one. Already I opened it, right? Look here, the Power Query editor is available here. Just go here. The same thing you can see in the data view, whatever you see it here, whatever the data you see it for this table, whatever the data is there, right? Using data view, you can see the data here, right? The same thing you can see it in the kitchen in the sense Power Query editor. This is where we do, one second, so this is where we do all kind of data transformation, Power Query editor. Okay, this is where we do all kind of data transformation, because the column names were not the proper shape. So what I do is I click on the transform ribbon. We call this a ribbon, transform ribbon. In the transform ribbon, you will find something, use first row as headers. Use first row as headers. So what it tells us, first row whatever value is there, you consider that as a column name. But if the first row is blank value here, let me see what happens if I click on it. Still the column names remain. Now the column names got converted something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Still it is not showing the proper column name. I just go one more time here, click on use first row as headers. What will happen is this row will become column header. Look here, now our data is in a good shape. So with this we are able to understand, hey, this is order ID. So these values, sorry, this is a row ID, these values are related to order ID. But if you see something like this, you will get confused, right? Whether it's an order ID, what is this, right? You will get confused. Or whether it's an order ID or row ID, you will get confused. Or whether it's an order date or ship date, you will get confused. So now using the Power Query editor, we converted the data into proper format. So now we are able to see the proper column name, everything, and we found some problem with the sales column. Look here in the sales column, if I see a dollar is there, right? And one more thing is, if you notice it very clearly here, and each and, just before each and every column, you will find ABC, 1, 2, 3, 1.2. What are they? It gives you a quick sense of, hey, ABC is a text, sales column is a text data type, and quantity is a 2.1, right? So which means 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 means whole number, and discount is a decimal number because 0.1 is there, right? You have some decimal. Similarly, profit is a decimal number. So everything is proper in proper data format except sales, because just because we have only one value prefixed by dollar, it considers the entire column values as a text data type. So how do I fix this issue? Just keep the cursor on top of this sales column, right click on it, right, it takes some time. Okay, oh sorry, I did not. Okay, right click on it. When you right click on it, you will get the context menu. This is called contextual menu. Here you will find something like remove duplicates, remove errors, duplicate column. Here our problem is replace values. I want to replace the dollar by empty string. Okay, so what will happen is, look here, values, to which value you want to find. I want to find dollar, replace with nothing. Okay, I mean empty string. Click on OK. This dollar will, see, look here, the dollar got removed, right? Though I removed the dollar, still I can see the ABC. Still the sales column remain as a text data type. I cannot add any number to it. I cannot subtract because it's text data type. So what you need to do is, now you need to keep the cursor here. Click on this ABC icon. You'll find the data types. Okay, these are the data types supported in your Power Query editor. Sales is a decimal number. It is not a whole number, right? It is a decimal number. I'm going to click on it. Look here, now my sales column got converted successfully as a decimal value. But if you see some statistic here, error 3% is there. Look here, error. So why we are getting error? So now what I do is I just minimize this, and then I just expand this on the right side, and I have something called here query settings. Okay, so when I clicked on query settings, look here, go to view and click on query settings, and this is your Power Query editor. You need to importantly notice this one. Okay, earlier I said the sales W04, actually it was a CSV file, but once you load the CSV file into a Power Query editor, it will consider as a table, but the same table is considered as a queries in Power Query editor. If you remember this much, that is more than sufficient. No more confusions. The tables are considered queries in Power Query editor. That's it. On the right side, you will find something like properties, query settings. You will find query settings. Just beneath this, you will find properties. Supposing you want to give some meaningful name, right? So what I do is, sales W04 does not give any meaningful name. So week 4 sales. Let's say my manager called me and he says, hey, take the week 4 sales. I want you to do some kind of analysis, create some report and share it with me. Fine. So I just give some meaningful week 4 sales. Look here the query name got changed. On the right side, just beneath these properties, you will find the applied steps. Under the applied steps, you will find all this. Whatever the data transformation we did it. What kind of data transformation we did it? Can someone type it in the chat window quickly? Even if this is a spelling mistake, grammatical mistake, fine. But I want to make sure that you are able to understand what all the steps, whatever I taught you so far, right? As for the data transformation, what we did, we just converted this for row header, right? So we created, see, look here in the transform, use first row as headers. Earlier the column names were not there with the proper name, right? So we just use the first row as a headers, column headers. That is what we did it, right? So whatever the data transformation we did it, and then what we did, we just we removed the dollar from the sales column, and then we converted this as a decimal data type, and then we could see that some error is there. So far whatever the data transformation we did it, so what happens is, just under the applied steps, Power Query editor, whatever we did it right, it records it, like in the CCTV, right? Whatever you do it right in your apartment, so it records, same thing, it records whatever the time you did it here. Look here, so here forget about these steps. Okay, promoted headers. So here what happened, it so just before this it was something like this, meaningful, right? Look here, the moment this is the source, the moment we loaded the data, we could see something like that this is called raw data. It is not in the proper format, in the required format. Next, what it automatically does the data type. This is, we did not do anything. And third step is promoted headers. What we did, we just use first row as headers, but in the first row initially blank values were there, hence it replaced this column 1, column 2 as something like this. Still this is a crap. So next step is, it does the data type automatically, and again what I did, I just clicked on this, use first row header. So what happened, this order ID, order date was present here, it got pushed from here to here, and this is the steps that, these are the steps we carried out. Whatever the point and click you did, it records on the right side, because in Power Query editor we don't have the Control Z option. In the Word document, PowerPoint, if you type something and if you wanted to have the previous data back, you do Control Z, right? If you want to undo the changes, you use Control Z. But in Power Query editor, Control Z is not available. Instead, it records each and every step just beneath this applied steps. Change data type to And next what we did, we replaced the value. We removed, look here, dollar, replace the dollar in your sales column by blank, empty string. And then we converted the data type of the sales explicitly by decimal value, number data type. But even after we did this, we could see some kind of error in the sales. We are not supposed to have error. So what I am going to do is, I want to revert back this, okay. I want to undo whatever the steps that I carried. See, what I do is, I click on don't convert the numeric data type. Okay, and if I click on this, here I can see this one, right, the replaced value. When I click on the replaced value, I replace the dollar by blank string. So hence the dollar got removed, but still it is in the text data type. Instead of going and then converting the decimal number directly, it is better, it is always better you scroll down and see, is there any other transformation is required. What is NA? NA stands for not available, blank values. So this NA, if I convert the number data, what will happen? All the NA will become error. That is the reason why you are getting error, right? I removed that step, okay. Okay, I repeat the same thing again. Look here, instead of, what I do is, I'll just convert the decimal, but here some NA was there, right? See, this, all the other values got converted successfully as a decimal data type, but the NA values got considered error. Look here, the previous step was, replace the dollar by blank value. Next, what I did, I just converted directly to decimal number. I should not have done this, right? So Control Z is not working. I want to go back to the previous state. Click on the cross sign just next to this. I want to undo the changes. Okay, so still it is in the text data type. I don't want to convert this decimal number immediately. Instead, I scroll down and see, hey, NA is there. What I do is, I will right click on it one more time, replace values NA by 0 here, and then click on OK. Now if you scroll down here, always it is better, make sure that whatever the transformation that you are doing it is correct or not. Just by eyeballing it you can, so okay, all the NAs got replaced by 0. That step also got recorded. So to cross verify this, look here for this step. So this is the thing we did it. This is called your M language. All we did was just right click, replace value is there, right? So simply replace values, whatever thing that you need to specify this, and so this value you replace it by, so for example NA was there, replace it 0, I put it, that's it. But behind the scene, Power Query editor generates a M script. This is called your M script. You don't have to write a script. On your behalf, Power Query editor itself write a script. This is called your M language, M script. Okay, so you need to cross verify. For example, if I click on this, what kind of action I performed it. You don't have to be familiar with the syntax, all the things. You don't have to write a script. This script was generated on your behalf, but if you take a look at it, cursory look at it, right? Look here, the sales column, yeah, and here dollar in the sales column, wherever dollar is there, replace it to empty string. So this is how we remove the dollar. Oh, okay, this is the step we carried out. And next, if I go here, data type change and all did it automatically. In this step, what did we do? If you want to see it, you just click on this, promote all scalars to true, right? The first row, second row, product name, all the column, we push the row values to the column headers. Good, all these things we did it, fine. So now the question is, sir, in all the projects, the data file will look like this. There are some projects where column header will be correctly given. Okay, even after loading the data into Power Query editor or Power BI desktop, the column name will appear like this. There are some cases your column name, instead of appearing here, it will appear along with the data itself. You need to push that row to your column header. How do you do that? Use first row as headers. Okay, fine. So now we did some kind of transformation. ETL, extract is like load the data into Power BI desktop, fine. And then the next step is ETL part, transform the data. That is what we did it here. Transform some extent, right? We did a lot of, so for us it looks, for you it might look like, we did a lot of things. Okay, if you scroll down here, we replace the NA by 0, click on the ABC. Now you need to make sure that you are converting numeric data type, but numeric you have some fixed decimal number, whole number, but we can't say fixed decimal number for sales, or if you want you can use it. So I prefer decimal number. So, and if you scroll down here, you will see the 0 remain as 0. It is not error now. Okay, we are able to successfully convert, address the issues that were present in the sales column. We remove the dollar, the prefixed value dollar, and then we replace the NA by 0, and then we change the data type to decimal data type. Good. Now we don't see, look here, error 0%, empty 0%. So in order to see each and every column's profile, you need to go to view, and for in my case, column quality, column distribution. Okay, so each and every column, if you want to make sure that the quality of the thing, right, you need to click on this one. You need to check on, or you need to enable column quality by by selecting this one. Look here, 100% values in this column is valid. There are no error, there are no empty values. Good. This is how we do. This is a simple data transformation. Okay. So all we did was we changed the data type in the proper format. Before changing the data type, address the data related issues, and then you convert the required format, proper data format, and then you make sure that your column names are proper. These are the two things we did it. Next, what you need to click on the file and click on close and apply. Whatever the steps that I carried out, you apply it to the data permanently in my Power BI desktop. All these changes you apply it in my Power BI desktop. You got it? You need to remember this word. For example, if I remove any one of the column in my Power BI desktop for this file, this column will get removed, but the same column will remain as it is in my operating system. I am not removing the column from my operating system file. So what happens is, see, look here, I just go to this one. This is my report canvas. On the right side of this, if you see here, earlier it was showing column 1, column 2, column 3. Now it shows the proper column names. Oh, these are the columns are available in this table. And if you want to see the data, go to data view. Now when you see this, it looks pretty decent. So along with the values, you can see the column names also. And then if you scroll towards the right side, you will find sales. If you click on any of the columns, right, here itself you can see the data type. So when you click on this column once, you need to wait for some time. The menu will get changed something like this. This column is sales, and the data type is decimal number. The format is general. We'll discuss about this later. Okay. Now the data looks good. So now you can see here, right, the data, everything is good. Okay, fine. And okay, now you learned how to check, how to do the data, how to load the data into Power BI desktop, the comma separated value file. Second step is how to do the data transformation. Go to the transform and Power Query Editor, that is where we did the data transfer, and then we clicked on close and apply. All the steps we carried out, whatever we carried out. What are the steps? Remove the dollar from the sales column and replace the NA by 0, and also use the first row as column headers. These are the transformation we did it, and apply all the data transformations to my table, this table permanently, or the model. Apply the changes to my model. So the last one is your model. Look here, model. If you hover the cursor here, you will find model. This is your model. See, if you have more than one table, it will show the link between the columns. Okay, tables. Okay, so this is where we do the data model design. That I am going to talk later point in time. It is too early to discuss so many things. Okay, fine. It is we started by 9. It is already 10:30. Thanks for all your patience. I was continually talking. So today we have explored how to load the comma separated files, and then we have seen how to do the data transformation, the basic data transformation in today's session using Power Query Editor. And also we explored the navigation, how to go to the data view and how to go to the model view. This is also called a model view or Power Pivot, and also how to go to the Power Query Editor to do the data transformation. Right, if you click on this, it will go here. I will share this today's video. Watch it and practice it. Make sure that you are installing all the SQL Server related SQL Server, SQL Server Management Studio. If you have not yet installed Power BI, please go ahead and install it. I will share the link where you can find all the data. I have a lot of data files, lot of report files. You can go and download it. I will share a video how to download the files from my GitHub link. That also I will share it to you all. You just see it. In case you find any issues or any hiccups, you just WhatsApp me anytime between 12:30 to 3 tomorrow. I'll try to help you out, but don't postpone it. No shy, nothing. You can ask me any questions anytime. That is how you can improve. You believe me or not, I'm going to stop the recording.